Hello students, a very good evening, and I welcome you all for this special session, and it's 30 days to go. Am I clear? Is my audio and video is clear? Type clear in the chat box if my audio and video is clear. Super, perfect, okay. So we have another 30 days to go, and how is your feeling? Can you all come to the chat box? Those of you who are writing your prelims, can you put it in one word? What's your feeling like? 30 days to go for prelims. Come to the chat box and type in one word what to express your feeling as to what you're feeling. Yeah, Sai Teja says little fear. Yeah, others elated, excited, wow, stressed. Yeah, emotionless. Oh, that's a very neutral state. Yeah, excited, very good, all good, awesome, awesome. You know, stressed. Yeah, no doubt, little fear and good. Absolutely. See, you know, this mixed emotions is a feeling that actually comes, students, you know, over these 30 days, everything will flare up. Whatever is your personality type, it will flare up in these last 30 days. And it is extremely important that the knowledge and the mental mindset is rightly set for you to be able to make the best out of these 30 days. Okay. See, now, why is this mixed feelings coming in? What is actually going on here? Students, you know, if you see, this is what I always tell. When you take an academic exam and a UPSC exam, things are different here. In an academic exam, things are very much defined, wherein you have a set of books, you have a set syllabus, and you have a set question paper where majority of the times the questions are known what will come. Whereas in UPSC, things are dynamic. The syllabus is not defined, especially for prelims. Syllabus is very, very limitedly mentioned, whereas you need to refer to the mains aspect for the prelim syllabus. And the books are not defined. I hope by now you all realize that. And the question paper is absolutely not defined, where you are going there with an absolute uncertainty. So when you all are entering with a space of uncertainty, the skill that is needed is the crisis management. And when do you think you will be able to manage the crisis? Only when you have the right presence of mind, yes or no? So how do we prepare ourselves for the exam that is coming about after 30 days? You actually need to start the preparation from now itself, okay? Now, from now, what exactly you need to do so that on that day, things are a cakewalk. That is the key, and that is the discussion that we are going to have today. So for this particular call, I've invited the students of our community, and I've also invited the students of the IAS hacking community also. So this has become an open session so that those who are not a part of the community are also able to understand what we are doing. And those who are there in the community also know what others are doing outside the community. Okay. And that is the intention of welcoming all of you here. So if there is a possibility, come on the video so that it will be a more immersive session. So I see Sudarshan, Anubhav, Pramod, Rajuvel. Nice to see you all. Rachita, Anamika, Devika. Nice to see you all. Right. So feel free to come on the screen so that it's going to be a very, very interactive session. Okay. Superb. So without any delay, let's begin with today's exciting session. And as I said, the 30 days strategy for mental preparedness, for outcome, and for clarity in the exam. Okay. And what I'm about to discuss with you, it's a very systematically structured approach after years of working with students. So you can rely on what I'm telling you. Okay. Are you all ready? Are you all excited to hear this? Type ready in the chat box if you all are excited. Yeah. Now, before I go ahead, okay, this session has been open for the students who are writing the prelims and also for those who are not writing the prelims this time. Now, the question that might be running in your mind is, sir, if I'm not writing the prelims this time, does this session apply to me? There were questions asked to me. Absolutely, it applies. Because understand that there is a lot of learning that you can get with what really happens in this process during this time. When you're able to learn and expose yourself during your time of journey, things will become a little cakewalk. Yeah. So whether you are writing the prelims in 2023 or 2024, or for that matter, even 2025, the same applies. Okay. So without any delay, let's try to understand what we have in discussion today. Okay. So if you see here, I have divided the session into 3 parts. The first part is about how do we achieve the subject outcome. So students, here as I told you, there are 2 phases in the journey. One is called as the knowledge phase, and other one is called as the skill phase. So first part that might give us a lot of anxiety is, can I remember things? Do I know things? If a question is asked about, will I be able to answer it? That question will be looming. So the first step that we will be discussing today is how do we achieve the subjective outcomes? Okay. And the second most important thing is the mental preparedness. How do we be mentally prepared for these next 30 days? And what is the checklist to follow? And the third most important aspect, which no one is aware of or no one much focuses upon, is what after prelims, right? What if it is positive? What if it is negative, right? So students, this session is going to be very introspective again. And as I always tell, I'm here to only mirror you. I'm not here to teach you anything. I'm here to mirror you. And I want all of you to check whether you are doing these things and to what extent are you doing. Okay. So let's go one by one so that you all are very clear about what is happening. So when it comes to the subject outcomes, let's go one by one. Okay. So here, if you see, the first thing that you need to do is in the next 30 days. So what do we do is consolidate the material prepared and get a bird's eye view of the subject. So what do I mean by consolidation of the material and getting a bird's eye view? See, now you might have a rush of information on YouTube, a rush of information on magazines, a rush of information of what your friends could be reading, right? For now, what I want you to do, all of you to do is put a full stop for what you're about to read next, new. Rather, the first thing that you need to do is consolidate the material. Okay, consolidate the material. So what do I mean by material? What is meant by consolidation? Let's try to understand and delve a little more into it. So the first thing when I say consolidation, you keep the notes that you have made at one place. If you have made notes in papers, kindly arrange all of that, keep it at one place. Bring all the mock tests that you have solved at one place. And thirdly, if you have any reference books where you have done your markings, kindly bring it to one place. And when you bring everything to one place, allow your mind to digest what all work you have done already in this last 1 year or in this last 6 months. See, understand you have studied a lot. Remember, you'll be surprised if I tell that you know more than the examiner. And I really mean it. because you are the ones who are studying. They are not as intensely studying as you. Okay. But the point here is you just need to trust your mind here and allow your mind to digest what all you have done. So the first step is bring everything into one place. Clear? Once you bring everything into one place, the second step that I want you to do is allow your mind to skim through the notes. I hope you all know what is meant by skimming. Skimming is not reading. Skimming is not scanning. Skimming is mainly looking at the important points and don't have to remember anything, don't have to recall everything. Allow your mind to run through what all things you have done as a part of your notes, as a part of your subject coverage, and get a bird's eye view of the subject, right? Get a broader view of the subject. For example, if I take geography, you should be able to divide them into three parts. One is called as the geomorphology, one is called as the oceanography, another one is called as climatology. If I'm talking about geomorphology, next further division, you will study about the interior of the earth. When I talk about the interior of the earth, what all are the layers in the earth? What all are the concepts in the earth? So you get a bird's eye view of the subject. Clear? You should be able to know how the subject is organized. For example, if you take history, ancient, medieval, modern. If you take ancient India, it should be prehistoric age, Indus Valley, Vedic age, post-Vedic age, etc. Are you able to get it? Type bird in the chat box if you are able to understand what I mean by a bird's eye view of the subject. Type bird in the chat box if you're getting it. Right? Allow your mind to define what is the information boundary you're operating. Yeah? This is the exercise that you need to do maximum by tomorrow. Okay? For those of you who are writing your prelims. Okay? This allows your mind a definition of information. Understand this. The anxiety that you're getting is because there is no limit to things here. Remember, UPSC does not have a limit. You go on studying, there'll be something new to study, right? Any number of attempts, any number of hours you give, you cannot complete the syllabus because the syllabus is not defined. I hope all of you are able to come in truth, acceptance with the truth. Okay. Now, once you get a bird's eye view of the subject, what is the next important thing to do? See, understand the next important thing to do is brainstorm the concepts. For many of you might not be aware about this word called brainstorm. See, understand that when I talk about any specific word, what is my mind able to remember about the concept? That is called as brainstorm. So what I want all of you to do is brainstorm about the subject. Every morning, you do a workout, correct? A physical workout. Do a mental workout. What is meant by a mental workout is take a concept. I'll tell you how to take the concept. For example, if you take a concept called cyclone, what all are you remembering about the concept of cyclone? How are cyclones originating? What are the features of a cyclone? What is tropical cyclone? What is temperate cyclone? How are they different? In India, which parts of India gets the cyclone? Is there any current affairs related to the cyclone? Etc., etc., etc. Are you able to understand how much you are able to recall about the concept? So go with the brainstorming approach related to the concepts. Clear? So the question is, how do we brainstorm? How do we go about it? Okay. So here, let me show you this. So the brainstorming can happen either through the index of the textbook. For example, subjects such as Indian polity and Indian history have a very defined textbooks. You actually don't need to make detailed notes because the textbooks are really good. For example, you might be reading Lakshmikant for polity, you might be reading Spectrum for modern history, etc. So there is an index. So you take the index and you brainstorm what all you remember. And this exercise works much better if you have a buddy. So when you both of them are sitting and actually brainstorming, he is able to put in his thought, you are able to put in your thought, and you are able to merge upon things which you will not forget. This is not by hearting. This is brainstorming. So what is the biggest advantage here is that blurry feeling that you have in your mind. Am I able to remember or not will go away. You will get so much confidence, students, that you are going like a daredevil to the exam because you know that whatever concept I tell, I'm able to recall. Right? Right? So we can actually try this. Let's try a sample and let's try to see what all you remember about it. Okay. So for example, if I talk about the President of India, check what all are you remembering about the President of India. What all are the aspects you are checking with respect to the President of India. You can do this particular exercise right after this session. Take a sheet of paper and write down. See to what extent you are able to brainstorm and see where is the blurry feeling coming. Wherever you're getting the blurry feeling, you just circle it. It is that area where you need to rework on the mental map. That's it. So that way, you are actually able to cover the concepts faster and you're able to avoid the blurry feeling. This is the first thing. Index. Second, if you take the NCRTs or standard reference books, you will notice that there are keywords at the back of the textbook. You can please go to the keyword and try to brainstorm. Do I remember anything about this concept or not? Wherever you are absolutely blank, take that as a blessing because right now only you found that it is blank in your mind. Circle it, know about it. And third, concepts in your textbook, concepts in your notes. What is meant by a concept? Many of them don't understand. I'm simplifying it. The headline you mention for the concept that you have made in your notes is the concept. Okay. Remember, UPSC prelims or mains or interview is an exam of concepts. Okay. You might get a question, sir, what about current affair? Understand that the concepts which are there in current affair are asked as questions in UPSC. So please focus on the concepts and things are majorly covered there. Clear? Type blurry in the chat box if you all understood this brainstorming approach to avoid this blurry feeling. Type blurry in the chat box if you are able to get it. Are you all able to understand? Right? That is the second thing that you need to do in the funnel. What is the first step in the funnel? Consolidate the material. Second step in the funnel, improve your recall muscles. Right? Improve your recall muscles. Okay. Now remember, facts need not be remembered so much. Rather, it's the conceptual understanding that needs to be remembered. Say, I always tell this example. See, there are some concepts where all the materials, all the coaching institutes would have it. Okay, I'll give you an example. There was a concept called merchant discount rate in 2018, which was highly making news. Okay, everyone knew that the question will come. And the question came too. But since everyone knew that the question will come, it was a mainstream topic that was being discussed. The options were made very tricky. So always try to practice this, where you look at the question and the concept and try to think for a moment, what do we remember about it? And directly search for the keywords and you will notice that you're actually able to find out the right answer as fast as possible. If you sit and actually read, you will get confused. And UPSC knows how to confuse you. Clear? Right? So avoid the blurry feeling by brainstorm. The mental gym, the mental workout is it. Clear? Okay. And the next important thing that you can do to build your subject outcome is learn through previous year questions. Students, for those who are a part of our community, by now enough has been emphasized on previous year questions. For those of you who are not in the community and outside, I'm throwing the light upon all of you. Learn through the previous year questions and locate the notes and locate it in the notes, the concepts which are touched upon. Okay, let me give you all an example. When you are solving a previous year question, for example, look at this question. The boundaries of a national park are defined by legislation. The biosphere reserve is declared to conserve a few specific species of flora and fauna. In a wildlife sanctuary, limited biotic interference is permitted. Which of the statements are correct? Now, if you see, the concepts that are discussed here are national park, biosphere reserve, and wildlife sanctuary. So I want you to first form a mental map as to which subject is it coming under. First, basic. Do you know which subject it is coming under? Can you come to the chat box and type in which subject is this? Anyone? I hope that part, everyone, very good. Environment. Now, once you go to the environment, the next section here is under environment, under which chapter is this concept coming? And when you see this, you should be able to remember the three concentric circles that come in with respect to wildlife conservation. In the center will be national park. Around that will be the wildlife sanctuary, and around that will be biosphere reserve. What is going on between these three concepts? Are you able to locate it? So this is the mental mind map that you need to build as a part of this question. Are you all able to get it? So learn through the previous year questions, and first, once you learn, locate it into your concept and revise it. It is these concepts they can ask differently every single year, depending upon its importance. Type mental map, MM, in the chat box if you all are able to understand. Build your mental maps. Are your scores in mocks not improving? If the scores in your mocks are not improving, check, is it because of lack of conceptual clarity, or is it lack of information base? Right? If it is lack of conceptual clarity, this is the first step that you all need to do. Take the previous year questions and form the mental map towards your notes. Clear? Are you all able to get it? So the angles that are being touched upon here can be updated to your notes if that is there. Clear? Right? So, and you can link and try to analyze why the statement is correct, why the statement is wrong, and derive the answer. Focus on this word. Deriving the answer is the key. Students, understand this. This is a thing that you all need to really understand. The answer is not important here. Deriving the answer is important. The logic you're using is important. For example, the boundaries of a national park are defined by a legislation. What is the national park that you remember? Okay, check. And is that national park formed by a legislation? When I say legislation, it's an act. So does it mean it needs an act or not? Check if you are able to recall anything. Okay. For example, in Bangalore, there is Bannerghatta National Park. So Bannerghatta National Park, if it has to be formed, does it have a legislation? I have to check. Are you able to get it? Now, are you able to recall if it is there or not? Look into it. Biosphere reserve is declared to conserve a few specific species of flora and fauna. If you are able to recall and understand, there is Nilgiri's Biosphere Reserve, right? There is many biosphere reserves across the country. Why is a particular area declared as a biosphere reserve? Do you know the logic? That's what they're checking here. Are you able to use the logic and derive the answer? In a wildlife sanctuary, limited biotic interference is permitted. So we remember that there are three concentric circles and a wildlife sanctuary is coming in the center. So limited biotic interference makes sense there. Whereas in national park, there is no activities that has to be done. So this way, you're able to derive the answer, right? Use your logic. What logic you're using to come to the answer? This is what is important. The pathway is the important. Type derive in the chat box if you all are clear with this. Type derive in the chat box if you all are clear. Making sense? Right? Check out of 100%, how much are you doing all this? Okay. Super. Clear? Yeah. I want you to go out there. Face the examiner. Students, always remember, you are not here to sit and work like a donkey. It's not about the number of books you read. It's not about the number of hours you study. It is about understanding your opponent. Let these last 30 days be totally channeled towards understanding your opponent. Let me tell you, if you work on the previous year questions, you will build such amount of intuitions that you will notice where the examiner is actually telling you what is the right answer, right? He'll actually communicate through the words. You just need to have the presence of mind to look through and understand his language. Clear? There are around 2,500 questions. 27 years of question papers are available, and all that you need to do is work on the questions. How difficult is that? Today we have subject-wise questions analyzed. All that you need to do is take those questions, work on the questions. Yeah. Next. And the next important thing that you can do further is list down the conceptual areas. Okay. In the question paper, the conceptual area, our student Rishita had done a great job. But the best practice I'm narrating to all of you. That is, you list down all the concepts. Or if you don't have the time to list down all the concepts, you use a highlighter to highlight the concept. So what are the concepts here? National Park, Biosphere Reserve, Wildlife Sanctuary. You highlight it. And it is these areas where the questions will come from. Highlight all the concepts. It is where you are getting the major amount of questions. Are you all able to get it? So focus on the conceptual areas that have come in the previous year questions. This way, you're able to get majority of the questions in the paper. Remember, from the last 2 to 3 years, the cutoffs are coming down. A general category cutoff is ranging at around 92 to 98 marks. So if you are comfortably touching 50 to 55 questions accurately, students, you are in the game. So in the garb of actually attempting all the questions, kindly don't lose out on things. Rather, in these last 30 days, focus on those strong areas that you are in and focus on accuracy, right? Kindly focus on accuracy and don't just in the garb of attempting all the questions, attempt it. Am I making sense? Right? So remember, those 4 or 5 subjects that are there, which you're strong in, that is where you need to focus. You are not here to do some random guesses or logical guesses. You are here to play the game with your strength. In this context, what I like to tell all of you here is, take this oath. The oath that I want all of you to take is, right? I want you to hold your hand on your heart, okay? And take this oath. I shall confidently attempt what I know in the exam with my limited material. Remember, I shall confidently attempt what I know in the exam with my limited material. Right? And my focus is on eliminating the wrong options. Yeah. So type oath in the chat box if you truly took this oath. Focus on the word limited. Students, this is what is in your control. Okay. On the day of the exam, your friend will come and tell, haven't you studied this? I heard it's really important. Right? Unlike your 10th standard exam, kindly don't get panicked and kindly don't go and start skimming the book. There's no point. Understand this. Okay. Remember that you are operating on a limited material, and it is this limited material what you should have clarity in. And using this limited material, you shall firefight to meet the cutoff. And how will you firefight? 3 methods: sure shot, elimination, and a logical guess. And when you are taking a question, your core focus shall be to find out or to eliminate the wrong options. Clear? Don't focus on the right answer. That is how our mind is designed. We always see the negatives of another person, correct? That's how our mind is designed. Let you operate based on the strength of your mind. Focus on the wrong aspects of the options and eliminate them as much as possible to come to the right answer. Clear? Students, getting the logic here? So operate on your limited material and operate on the firefighting method. Okay. And how will you learn the firefighting method? In the last 30 days, what workout you need to do, I'll tell you. Okay. Are you all following till now? Type follow in the chat box if you all are following what I'm telling till now. Okay. Amazing. Good. Next. The next step, how do we learn the skill of firefighting? How do we learn the skill of crisis management? And this is where, students, I wish to present to you this perspective. Our community knows this very well. For those who are outsiders, I'm introducing this. That is using the mock test as a learning tool and using the mock test as a testing tool. Many of the students think that a test is only for testing their knowledge alone, only for knowing the marks, nothing else. Wrong. Understand, in UPSC, every current affairs that involves has multiple angles that could be asked. Get it? For example, this year prelims, I given this example. Ramanujacharya was in news because Statue of Equality was set up. They could have asked any angle of question, but they asked a question. Which of the following are teachings of Ramanujacharya? Are you all getting it? The other year, I think 2016, there was a question on which of the following items have the FSSAI symbol. Okay, sorry. Which of the following are found on a biscuit packet? This was the question asked. The veg and non-veg symbol, the doctor's prescription, and I think the MRP and the food ingredients, etc. Okay, this was a question asked. Now it might appear silly, but if you see that year, the Food Safety Standards Authority of India was celebrating its 60th anniversary. Now, you might have studied FSSAI. You might have studied about the ministry under which it comes. But have you seen in this angle? Yes, you might answer the question using your common sense. But have you seen the question in this angle? No. As a beginner, you might not know. But as experts who are designing the question paper, many of the time we will be able to touch upon the pulse of UPSC. So when you work on the questions, you get your angles. Clear? So what you need to do in the last 30 days, yes, in case you haven't worked on the test series, what you could do is the first 20 days, that is the next 20 days, do 5 to 10 full-length mock test. Okay, 5 to 10 full-length mock test where you focus on the questions that you know or the subjects that you know. Okay. For example, if you haven't studied history, if you have studied those 4 subjects, let us say environment, science and tech, polity, geography, etc. Only those subjects you specifically focus and don't do some random guesses apart from those things that you have studied. Okay. So focus should be on the accuracy and identifying the questions that you can attempt. This you should learn, right? You should attempt. You should focus on selecting the questions, not going about reading every question. Making sense? So the first 20 days can be used where every second day you can take up a test. Yeah. And what is the purpose of the test? The purpose of the test is to know how well you are able to firefight the method. Yeah. Type test in the chat box if you all got this point. Are you all getting it? And those of you who are not giving the exam this year, I hope you all are able to understand the tempo here. Okay. So the tempo is important. Okay. Good. So the next thing is, what I want all of you to do is, once you give the test, after the test, check which questions are wrong and why they went wrong. Right? You went wrong because, is it lack of conceptual clarity, or is it a missing fact, or what is the reason? Is it a silly mistake? Is it a psychological error? Please check. I'll give you an example. Some students they're so positive in life that they just can't understand the not question. The not will not appear to them at all. They'll somehow skip it. Check if you are having this kind of psychological aspect related to questions going on and identify them, because remember, these challenges are like thieves who enter your house. Your mind is your house, and these challenges are like a thief who enters into the house. Students, when a thief enters into the house at night, what do you do first? to alerting? Can you come to the chat box and tell me what will you do to alert the thief? Any idea? What will you do to alert the thief? First, you should alert the thief, right? No. Sudarshan says call cops. Yes, Nitya has mentioned it right. Turn on the light. Correct. First thing is turn on the light. Will you turn on the bed light? No, you will turn on the main light so that the robber is alert, the thief is alert, correct? Now the light I'm talking about is the clarity. So when you are facing a challenge with respect to why those questions are going wrong, and when you're able to identify why it is going wrong, your mind is clear that this is happening. So the next time a scenario like that will come, your subconscious mind will kick in to tell you that this is an area that you should be careful. Making sense? Understanding? Right? So this is the method with which you need to focus on the testing part of the challenge. And the last 10 days, remember this, the last 10 days, kindly, my humble request, no mock test. Use the testing, use the question papers as a learning tool where you learn from the questions. Okay, where you learn from the questions. Clear? So first 10-20 days, you can use it as a testing tool, and then you use it as a learning tool. Okay, so when you work on the questions, you will be able to learn a lot of facts. The preparation becomes really interesting, and your mind will be very actively learning. You will actually be able to do active learning when you are going through the questions and learning through the questions. Clear? For example, if I have to go back again and help you understand this. So if you see this question again, where I'm showing you this question, when I say a national park, what all do you remember about a national park? What is this? You are learning a fact. You are learning 3 specific facts here related to this question. And you're also able to understand why the wrong statement is wrong. So when you're learning through the questions, you're learning a lot of things, and active learning is happening. Your mind is active to find out the right answer. Making sense? Right? So learn through the questions. So if I have to simplify the prelims journey for you, if you have solved 2,500 previous year questions, and if you have solved 10 mock tests minimum, okay, that means you are solving around 3,000 plus 2,500, 5,500 questions. Each question approximately has 4 facts. That means you are solving around almost close to 15,000 facts. Are you able to get it? Right? Sorry, 1,000 plus 3,500 facts into 4, almost 12,000 facts. Out of those 12,000 facts, you need to eliminate 165 facts to get to the cutoff. Are you able to see this way? So when you are able to see this way and limit your information this way and locate and mental map the questions into the notes, you are actually able to build a good recall as a part of the exam. Type LTQ, learn through questions, in the chat box if you all understood this. Making sense? Right? No sitting and reading and reading and reading, no point. Remember, even if you read the Lakshmikant 100 times, even if you remember Lakshmikant like Bhagavad Gita, every paragraph you're able to narrate as it is, there is no point. The point, because UPSC will ask questions with a different terminology, different interpretation, right? If you by heart things, you will only be focusing on those words. If you know the concept, you will actually apply. Getting the point? So kindly, after one good reading, you don't need to go ahead and repeatedly read. Rather, you use them as a reference book. You refer. You don't read a dictionary. You refer a dictionary. Making sense? Right? Your tool of learning, your tool of building the mind map is the questions. Right? Right? So, super. Good. So next in the funnel. So what we did, I'm recapping again. We consolidate the material. We brainstorm the concepts. We learned through the questions. Correct? The funnel has come down. And the last thing in the funnel, and I can say one of the most important thing, if you are weak, is CSAT. Kindly focus on CSAT. And when I say focus on CSAT, kindly don't go about and do random institute question papers of CSAT. Please, don't need it. All that you can do is solve the last 10 years of question papers. Enough. Every alternative day. If you haven't even touched alternative day, last 10-year question papers you solve. Okay. If you want to test yourself how you are performing in CSAT, take the last year paper and solve it. If you are getting 100 marks and above, you can be very comfortable. No need to even do anything. If you're less than 100, kindly sit and solve the questions. Okay. And don't panic if the marks are not improving. What you can do is consolidate all the question papers at one place and solve all the comprehension type of questions first and see what are the types that are coming in, what are the tricks that the UPSC is playing, and how are you deriving the answer. Okay. Comprehension is one area where UPSC can trick you. Many of the students who are from an English medium come with a strong confidence that comprehension is very, very easy. They can tackle it only with comprehension. No. And on the other way around, students who come with strong math background, thinking that, I don't need English at all, only with maths I'll solve, UPSC also affects them. Okay, tackles them. So what I would be recommending is the game is having an average of all the three: quantitative aptitude, logical reasoning, and English comprehension. So English comprehension, rather than getting exposed in a shock during the exam, kindly focus on the language of comprehension and work on it. For those of you who are a part of our community, an excellent module was done in the month of February and March related to CSAT, and a clear section is provided regarding comprehension. Please go through them if you haven't gone through. Okay. And lastly, the CSAT concepts. Again, divide the question papers into logical reasoning and quantitative aptitude, and work on each of the question and see how you are able to derive the answer. Deriving the answer is the key. If you know the formula or if you don't know the formula, see how logic you are using to derive the concept. If you don't have an idea about it, for example, time and work, a repeated question. Okay. So see if you're able to come down to the answer using the formula that you know. So the thing that I like to tell you is derive your answers. Okay. Derive your answers and focus on meeting the cutoff. 28 questions you need to meet the cutoff. What will you do to do that? Is something in your hands. Yeah, 66 marks. Kindly don't ignore this. If this is a fear that's looming in for you, I want you to start putting your work right from now, every single day or every alternative day. Making sense? Half of day. Okay. Every alternative day, take a test, and every day, if you want, work out on one specific concepts. See, even if you work on, let us say, one concept per day related to quantitative aptitude or logical reasoning, in the next 25 days, you are working on 25 concepts into 20 questions each day. Don't you think you are able to do justice with around 500 problems being solved? Right? Type agree in the chat box if you agree with me. Can we solve 20 questions of one concept per day for the next 25 days? One concept into 20 questions, one concept per day into 20 questions into 25 days, right? Yes or no? Agree? Agree? So if you truly feel you are weak at math, there's no point getting anxious. The game is about getting to know the concept, getting to know the logic. Got it? There are hardly a few concepts of around 20 to 25 concepts where majority of the questions will come. You focus on that. Making sense? Right? So now, yes, this is how you build the subject outcomes related to the exam. Right? Right? How many of you are able to get the clarity towards this? Type clarity in the chat box if you all got the clarity. And the clarity. Right? Super. Nice. Right. So now the knowledge part is done. The next important part is the knowledge part and the skill part. Both we have worked upon. So the next important thing is how, in spite of all of this, there will be students who don't have the confidence. So remember, students, you might have the best of the knowledge, you might have the best of the skill, but if you don't have the confidence, the best of you won't come out. Tomorrow, when you become a district collector, right, you have to face the situation confident. And that is exactly what you are doing here as a part of the exam. See this as a on-job posting, where you are going out there confidently to tackle the scenario. Whatever is the best in your hand, you need to tackle it, correct? Now the question is, if I ask your mind, be confident, will you be confident? If I ask my mind, don't be anxious, will it be normal? No, right? Your mind does not listen to you. How do you make your mind behave the way you want? How do we get the results the way we want, right? So in this context, what I like to tell all of you are a few things regarding the mental preparedness. And here I like to tell you to begin with visualizing the next 30 days. How does your next 30 days look like? And how will you plan your next 30 days? What will you do in the first 20 days? What will you do in the last 10 days? Visualize it. If you want, put a grand map on a paper, or if that is not possible, jot it down on a paper. Put that visualization onto a paper. First step. Clear? Visualize. Bring it in your mind how it will be. Okay. Second, how do we visualize? I'll break it down for you. Recreate the exam day. Recreate the exam day. Recreate the exam day every single day. What do I mean by that? This is a very, very important thing. Kindly don't ignore this. Recreate the exam day and practice the routine. What is meant by recreating? What time you will wake up on the exam day, right? What kind of a physical workout you'll have on the exam day, if you have it. What time you'll have your breakfast. The exam will start from 10 o'clock to 12 o'clock, first shift. Second shift will start from 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock. Okay. Here, those times, how will you should be engaged in your mind with respect to solving question papers. Making sense? And after that, what will your day go like? Are you getting it? Recreating the exam day every single day for the next 30 days is important. Why am I telling this? Is because there are some students who are very active during the night. Now, when you are very active during the night, there are some students who go to the extent where they sleep by 5 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning. You have to bring your routines back on track. Because if your mind has to function properly on the day of the exam, you need to have your sleep right. Correct? Yes or no? And it should not become a very out of the routine kind of a scenario for your mind. If you're doing anything out of the routine, your mind will get anxious. I'll tell you what students do. The one day before the exam, they want to be very cool. So some of them, it's not their routine, but they just go off to the movie. Okay, one kind of set of people. The second set of people, you know what they do? They want to get maximum sleep. You know what they do? They sleep off by 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock previous night only. And they will notice that they don't have a habit of sleeping at 8 o'clock in the night or 9 o'clock at night when they're sleeping at 2 o'clock in the morning generally. And they'll keep rolling on the bed and they will notice that they sleep by 2 only. Are you getting the point here? On the day before the exam, if you're doing something out of the blue, your mind will get anxious because you're coming out of the comfort zone. And that anxiety will in turn affect the performance. So build your routine right from today and visualize the routine right from today. That is healthy for you. Clear? If you are sleeping at 12 o'clock and if you're waking up at 6:30 or 7 o'clock, if that is your routine, continue that even one day before the exam. Keep studying till 12 o'clock, no problem. Go on solving the questions. When I say studying, next 30 days is all about solving questions, brainstorming topics, no sitting and reading things. Brainstorm, solve the questions. Got it? So visualize your day. Okay? Correct your sleep routines. And I would really recommend all of you to do a daily walk if you have no exercise being done. Because end of the day, over these last 30 days, you will be putting in a lot of man hours. Okay? For some of you who are full-time students, you might be putting in around 10 to 12 hours of your time. For those of you who are working professionals, you might be stretching your limits to 6 to 8 hours per day, and along with your work. So your body needs the exercise because motion leads to emotion. Do that workout, sweat it out. It's summer right now. And if you are sitting, just sleeping, waking up, sitting, sleeping, waking up, sitting, remember, let me tell you, things won't be consistent. There'll be a time where frustration will build inside. Kindly understand that your mind needs the fuel, and the fuel to your mind is exercise. If you have a yoga practice, do yoga. If you have gymming, go gymming. If you want to do daily walking, do daily walking. Put in your music, run, sweat out. 15 minutes. There's nothing to compromise. Tomorrow, when you become an officer, you have a lot of things to do. But do you think you'll compromise on your health? No, right? Having a balance is extremely important. Yeah? Type routine in the chat box if you all are able to understand this. Type routine in the chat box if you all are able to get this. Awesome. Good. Right? I want everyone to follow it. And I'm really meaning it. Okay. If you can't do any exercise, just take a walk. That's it. Enough. Okay. Next. And as I told you, practice question solving between 10 to 12 and 2 to 4. And this will really help you get into that zone. Your mind will know that during this time, you are doing the questions. It will come to the maximum momentum. Clear? And for some of you, when you're solving the question papers, you might have a habit of eating a chocolate or keeping alert. Check whatever is your thing. You can eat a chocolate or to keep yourself alert. Do what you're doing. Okay? Sit at a particular place and do it. Now here, let me tell you one thing. What I like to tell you here is, on the day of the exam, you don't know how the center will be. Okay? The fan could be making the sound. The benches need not be comfortable, or the examiner could be talking to someone else. Okay? Or the examiner's looks itself might disturb you, right? Whatever it is. Okay? Make it a practice to prepare yourself mentally and solve the question paper wherever you are. Same time, same place, same routine. When you start doing that, your mind tends to get focused. Clear? See what all is happening at your home, or what all is happening at your workplace or your study place. Let all those distractions be muted when you're solving the questions. That practice has to come. Making sense? Clear? Okay. See, why am I telling all this is because these things you would have not known. But when you go there, it'll, there was a scenario where next to the exam hall, there was a marriage procession. What will you do? Do you think you can ask the examiner to go and stop that? No, things will go. Things will go wrong if it has to. This is where you got to firefight and keep focused. Making sense? Type manage in the chat box if you all understood this. This is what you need to learn. Management. Good. Next. The next important thing, students, I want to share with you a very, very powerful strategy. And this is called as the water therapy. Okay. A very, very powerful strategy that will create wonders, not just for UPSC, in any area of your life. Okay. The water by its nature has a lot of memory. Okay. And the water actually resonates to your positive or your negative emotions. And that is why, if you notice, a practical example is whenever you're feeling upset or whenever you're feeling very sad, the emotions in turn will have its bodily effects. It could be a common cold, it could be a fever, or it could be pains at different parts of your body, etc. Right? How many of you have observed this, where if your emotional state of mind is not right, it has an impact on your body? Type emotion in the chat box if you have experienced it. Have you? Right? Check. So the emotional state of mind will actually determine what exactly is the physical state of your body. Remember, okay? So our body is 70% water, and water remembers, okay? So what I want all of you to do in these next 30 days, I want you to take a sheet of paper and write down what all are the outcomes that you desire, okay? It can be whatever related to UPSC, it can be related to your health, it can be related to your relationships. Right now, in the next 30 days, what is very prior for you is what is going on in UPSC, correct? So write it down. Write down the desires, your deep desires. What is the outcome that I want? For example, I want to get 110 plus cutoff as a part of Prelims 2023 happening on May 28th. Okay. I want to get 55 questions correct or 110 plus marks in the exam. Sorry, there's a small correction. Not I want, I've already got 110 plus marks as a part of Prelims 2023. Got the idea? It's telling your subconscious mind that what you want, you have already got it. And write down all the desires that they've already been fulfilled. Okay. For example, if you're facing some specific health ailment, write that you've already overcome the health ailment. If there is a relationship issue that you're having with anyone, write that you are in complete oneness with that person. Okay, getting the point? And all that you write down, once you write down all the desires on a paper, all that I want you to do is take a bottle of water. Take a bottle of water and hold the bottle and close your eyes or open your eyes and read down the desires to your water. Okay, every morning you can do this, right? See, it might appear silly for many. It might appear there's nothing wrong to try, right? A lot of miracles have happened. And all that I'm asking you is do it with complete surrender. You are reaffirming your thought onto the water of what you want, that it's already happened. Talk to the water and drink the water in the morning. Right? As simple as this, nothing more. Okay? 30 days, do this particular activity. Every single day, the outcomes that you wanted has already happened. Feel the emotion that runs in you when you are able to get what you already want. Those marks in prelims, those health outcomes in your health, the relationship outcomes in your relationships. Right? How does it feel? Feels good, right? Yes or no? Type good in the chat box if it feels good. Right? Thinking about it. I really want you to try, and wonders have happened. You are connecting to the universe. Remember, students, if I have to tell it in scientific terms, we all are quantum beings. Everything is vibration. If you see your finger in a microscope, you'll notice that everything's vibrating around it. We all are vibrating beings. And when you start vibrating in a particular positive frequency, you start attracting the situations and the people around you that will help you facilitate this. Just like how an FM is tuned to get a particular frequency, when you start vibrating in a particular frequency, you tend to actually be there. I want everyone to do this, vibrate. Can you all do this? Vibrate, right? Let's start vibrating in the particular frequency. Getting it? Right? So the last 30 days, I want you to do this. Remember, you are not the only one who has control over everything, right? If you believe in God, there is God. If you don't believe in God, there is an energy. Can you please let out of your ego and surrender to the flow? Surrender to what are the things that are going to happen, right? It might be positive, might be negative. But remember, when you resist something that you don't want that to happen, it will happen, right? Don't resist, rather surrender. Surrender to the flow. What is there in your hand, you do 100%. Because 0% what is not in your control, why are you focusing on? For example, I'll give you a logic. Can you be 100% the way you wanted? No, right? You can't be yourself 100% the way you want. How do you think the situations and people will come in your control? Remember, what is in your control, only that you can. Just focus on that. Okay? Type 100% in the chat box if you focus on what you will do. Type 100% in the chat box if you focus on what you will do. That's it. That question paper, how it will come. Is it in your hands? The exam center, how it will come. Is it in your hands? The person sitting next to you, how you will be. Do you know him or her? Correct? What is in your hand? That is the key. Yeah. And I want all of you to try this water therapy, and it will do wonders. Okay. This is a very powerful technique, and I want all of you to try this. Okay? And please, you can feel free to personally ping us to let us know what exactly you experienced through this. We'll be very happy to know about it. Okay? And lastly, the checklist. The admit card. Check if you have taken a printout. Please don't take a printout one day before the exam. Keep this checklist ready. Today itself, what is the harm in taking a printout today? Take the admit card printout. Okay? And kindly go through the location of the admit card. Many people don't even go through that. They come in their own assumption that this is the location. Kindly go through the center location and click on the Google map, the center location, and see how far it is. If it is very far, can you arrange an accommodation one day prior so that you can comfortably go to the exam hall and come out? Correct? In case you have a practice of taking a power nap in the afternoon, right? If you don't want to be in the center, you can actually have an accommodation very close by where you can just go for a few minutes, relax, and come back. Check what options you want. But kindly check your center location. And thirdly, I hope you know that you can only use a black pen on the OMR sheet. Check which pen you're using on the OMR sheet. Okay? And kindly ensure that the pen doesn't blot. Right? Get used to the pen. Which pen are you using? And here I would recommend the students to download an OMR sheet from online, which is similar to the UPSC OMR sheet, okay, to get used to it. And see how you're marking the OMR. There is a technique for that. Can you believe it? Mark from the outside rather from the inside, okay, so that you are able to mark faster. So all those things actually save your time. So get used to the black pen. Get to know which pen works well for you, and learn to mark the OMR sheet effectively in the last 30 days. Let me tell you, there are scenarios where students go wrong in marking their roll number in the OMR. Things get real panicky just before the exam because there's no separate OMR that they give. You have to use a whitener. You have to remove that, mark it properly. Why all those points? Can you learn to mark it right now? Can you be in the presence of mind to mark it? Can you solve the question paper in 1 hour, 45 minutes? And the 15 minutes is for these contingencies, right? Are you all getting it? During the COVID time, things were much worse. They were checking many things, but now there's no such problems will be there. But in case they have asked anything related to the COVID certificate or anything aspect, please go through the conditions and accordingly take it. Clear? Are you all clear with the rules? Type rules in the chat box if you're all clear with the rules. Teja, we just discussed water therapy. Okay. It's talking to your water, what has already happened, and drinking it every morning. Yeah, super. Now, the next most important thing is, right? The next most important thing. Are you all clear till now? Anyone has any doubts? Okay. I will take the doubts in the end, but let me complete this so that everyone is very clear on things. Okay. The last thing is, what after prelims? Right? Students, there can be only 2 outcomes after 30 days. One, you will meet the cutoff, you will be writing your mains. Second, you might not meet the cutoff. Are you all able to get it? There are 2 outcomes. If either of them happen, you will still be alive. Okay? Don't see things too big and too anxious and make it very big. See it as it is. There are 2 possible scenarios. The best possible scenario is you might be the highest prelim scorer in the country. What's the point? Because the marks are not calculated. You just need to meet the cutoff in the game, correct? The worst can be you might not make it through prelims. Correct? Two possible outcomes. Expect the best, prepare for the worst. You know why you should do that? When you expect the best and prepare for the worst, you're introducing your mind both the scenarios. So your mind is secure that nothing is going to happen if either of them happens. And you're safe. If you're safe, it will be calm. Clear? Are you all able to get the logic? So in this scenario, understand this logic very clearly. Whatever happens in prelims, whether you are getting the top score or you're at the border or you haven't made through the cutoff. UPSC is a cycle that has to be continued and you should not stop. Why am I telling you that? Is because UPSC is a funnel. The interview is the opinion. The mains are the arguments. The prelims is the facts and the concepts. Clear? So once you are going through the prelims, you have a lot of facts. You have a lot of information with you, which you need to translate into a written format of answer as a part of your mains. So when you go after prelims to your mains, your horizon of knowledge improves, and thereby you will be able to understand things better. Okay. And in case, God forbid, in case, if you miss out on the prelims and you're writing the prelims again next time, your understanding of the concepts will be much better so that your prelims chances are much higher. But in case you don't take that action, and if you clear your prelims, you lose out on your mains because you have missed the precious time after the exam because the time is limited. Or in case you basically write the exam, but don't make it, but give a gap till the next prelims, what would really happen here is you will again come back to the same cycle where you will not give a scope for your mind to actually widen up the horizon. Am I clear with what I'm trying to tell all of you here? Type mains in the chat box if you all understood what am I telling you. Type mains if you all are getting it. Yeah. Good. So in this context, what I wish to present to you all is what we have as options available for you to do what after mains, what after prelims. Okay. So in this context, we have 3 specific programs for 3 specific set of students. The first set of program, and let me tell you, for those who are already a part of our community, these things automatically apply for all of you based upon which category you come under. Okay. The first category of students are called as the mains mentoring session, which will happen as for 100 days. And for whom is this mains mentoring session is those who have written prelims or not written prelims, but have completed the syllabus or who are not meeting the cutoff. Yeah. So I'm repeating it. Those who have written prelims or not written prelims, but who have completed the syllabus or not meeting the cutoff. The syllabus completion is important. Okay. If your syllabus completion is important, where you completed the syllabus related to the subjects, you will have this 100-day program. So what happens in this 100-day program is mains is about building the art of answer writing. It's not just about knowledge, it's the art of answer writing. So to help you build that skill, what we offer here is, the first thing is the duration will be from June 9th to October 27th. Okay. For first 20 days, what we will be doing is we will be having hand-holding sessions where you will be given 2 questions per day and you will be handheld to build the answers with the feedback, with the support. Clear? First thing. After the 20 days, for all the GS papers, 5 test, all the 4 GS papers you will cover in the first 20 days. Okay, where you will have no time limit, where you will take 2 questions, where you will go through the book or you'll open book system to build your answers. And after that, then the next 60 days, you will have 15 tests in each paper under prescribed topics. Okay, 15 slots it will be divided under each paper, where again you will be writing 2 questions per paper related to 15 days, and where you will be learning the art of building the answers. And the last 20 days, okay, the last 20 days, you will be follow-on sessions with mentoring will happen, where you will be let go without the support, where you will be building upon the answers by yourself and getting the evaluation back. So in the first next 100 days, you will be writing close to 200 questions related to all the concepts. Clear? So here every week in the first 80 days, you will have a huddle session where all of them will connect and discuss what are the probable answers that could have been written as a part of this. The mentor will be able to understand. Okay, clear? How many of you understood what is this Mains Mentoring Program? Type MMS in the chat box if you understood this. And remember, every student who has completed the syllabus should go through this, whether you're clearing prelims or not. Getting it? Okay. Next. The next program is called as the Mains Mentoring and the Mains Test Series Combo. This is for those students who have written prelims and they're meeting the cutoff, but they're writing the mains for the first time. You get to know that you have cleared your prelims and you're sure that you're getting into it, or you're in the border. So you can be a part of this program called as a 60-day program. And what happens in the 60-day program here is, duration is again of June 9th to August 31st. And here what will happen? Same, 20 days hand-holding session, okay, to help you learn the art of answer writing as you're new here, and 20-day follow-up session, okay. That is, you're left alone to do the answer writing, where we'll be provided the feedback and the group sessions will happen. And once you are writing your mains, you will have 5-day essay handling sessions happening and 15-day test series. And say 15-day test series is, for the remaining days, you will be having the complete tests happening. Sorry, 15 test series will be happening over the period, where one test will happen per week. Yeah, 15 test series, you will have full test. You will have it as a part of the session. Yeah. So once the hand holding is done, once you're learning the art of answer writing, then we'll be putting you into the full test, where you'll be actually managing the time. Did you all understand this? Type MM in the chat box if you all understood this. Mains mentoring in the chat box if you all got this. Understood? Good. And lastly, those who are advanced students who have written mains earlier and where they actually don't need the hand-holding support, for them, we have this 15 session program, where what we do here is, we will be having a duration of July 3rd to August 31st. 15 full paper tests will be there, where every week one test. GS1, 1 week, GS2, GS3, GS4, essay, and again it repeats. Like that, you will have 3 times the whole thing happening overall, okay, where weekly one test basis will be there. Clear? So this is called as the mains test series. So based upon where you are standing, you shall be having it. For our community students, all of this is a part of the program. And if you are an outsider, okay, the Mains Mentoring Program has so much value being provided, where things will be handheld, things will be told, things will be customized based on your strength, okay. And this Mains Mentoring session for the next 100 days is coming to you at an investment of 15,000 rupees overall, where you will be writing close to 200 answers, and you're learning the art of answer writing without knowing much, okay, that you will learn. And as a part of Mains Mentoring Program and the Mains Test Series Combo, if you're writing it, you will be charged 10,000 rupees as a part of this program. And if you're an advanced student writing the Mains Test Series, you will be charged 5,000 rupees as a part of the program, okay. So all of this, remember, post your prelims, the cycle has to continue. Okay? So these programs will be allocated to the students based on where you're standing after the concept. Okay? So right now, I want all of you to focus on prelims, and post your prelims, our team will reach out to you. And based upon where you're standing, you can give us a consent on which you like to be a part of, and we can take it forward. And if you are a part of our community already, all of this is a part of the program already. Making sense, right? So this is what you all need to do after your prelims. Type after prelims AP in the chat box if you all got the logic of what you need to do after prelims. AP in the chat box. You all understood this. In this context, I hope this session really added a lot of value for you. And if there is any questions, you can please raise your hand and I can answer your questions if there's anything that you have. Right? I'm lowering the hands so that if you have any questions, kindly raise your hand so that I can unmute you. Right? Anyone? Okay. Anyone like to share what realization you got through this session? If in short words, you like to share anything? Right? Okay, Sudarshan is there. Sudarshan, I'm unmuting you. Go ahead.
Sir, this session is really useful, sir. And today, after I saw your session, I checked that question paper. You showed me that what is the correct answer, and I got an idea how to arrive at that answer. One is look for an extreme statement, and number two, look for any similarity.
Yes.
So I used these two techniques. So there is no similarity. But what I found out that legislature was given that is incorrect, sir, factually incorrect. That one is eliminated. So 2 and 3 is the right answer.
Yes.
And the next exam I want to make this exam, this UPSC exam is like a Superman movie. I just want to say it's the best example. Like this, like we assume candidate is a Superman and the train is that other candidates. We have to compete to win that race. And there is another situation that the Superman is standing here. The railway track is broken. The train is about to get derailed. That is how the examiner set the question paper. So we should, the Superman thinks how to tackle the situation, let the train cross that broken track.
However you interpret.
Just want to share
however
this
you interpret.
example.
The game is all about the tricks, right? Sudarshan, good. This is how you observe the tricks. This is how you try to understand what is the language of UPSC and how he is trying to trick you, and you write it down. Yeah, good. Amazing. Good job.
Thank you.
Sudarshan. Thank you. Thank you. Hina, I'm unmuting you. Hina? Hello, Hina. Yes.
Handy, sir. Sir, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Sir, you know of me. I just want to ask one thing, that if I practiced the previous year questions for 30 days or 20 days, as you told, it will be sufficient. And if and in addition to this, I will clear my basic concepts through these previous year questions.
Yes.
Is it sufficient for my 23 exam?
So Hina, as I told you,
I want to ask.
You should go through the funnel approach. Okay. First, you check if you have covered the concepts related to the subject. If that is not covered, then the best part to do is 80-20 rule. 80% of the questions come from 20% of the areas. Those 20% of the areas are found in the previous year questions. Then gather on that information. That's all you can do in the last moment. Yeah.
So please repeat that 80-20 concept.
Now you can go through the previous year questions, where the previous year questions will give you an exposure to what are the majority the areas that UPSC can ask us questions. But if you haven't covered the concepts, this might not work really effective. Have you covered the concepts, Hina? Subjects, have you heard the classes or have you made your notes?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Then follow the approach that I'm telling you. Previous year questions will really do justice. Yeah. But practice the questions and everything. That's how you can go. Yeah. Rachita?
Thank you for the session, sir. It was very insightful. Two things factually I would like to share with everyone. One is that they should follow the National IAS 30-day, the current affairs thing, which I've been also following. It's really useful. It's a half an hour. Every video is half an hour and only 10 topics are there, and you get to cover like most of it in that. So definitely do that. And the second thing is, the more test series I have attempted, I've realized that there are recurring questions which I'm making mistakes. Like, for example, Gorky sir would always point out, you just circle one thing that you absolutely don't know. It's GDP, Coriolis force, monsoon, cyclone, money bill. So there will be one or two concepts that we just don't understand. So either eliminate that, or if it's recurring too much, then definitely make sure that we study that. I think that is, I think Hina's 80-20 clarification, because that's going to repeat again and again. That's my reflection. And I think how much ever we can do in the last 1 month, we should just push ourselves. We cannot compare with 1 year preparation and the last 1 month, because the exam is going to happen on 28th May, whether we are prepared or not. So how much ever we can, I think we should. And my journey from last June has been very eye-opening, and I have just surrendered, like you said, certain things you should just surrender and follow the process. Just keep doing mundane note making, affirmations, envisioning, and all of that has really helped me. I am at least very much at peace that I know certain things that I set out to learn. And I think confidence comes from knowledge. Like I think you said in your first session in June, which I attended, confidence automatically comes from knowledge. If we have that, automatically we are confident in exam because we know certain things.
Yes,
So,
very good. Thank you, Rachita. Great progress. That's how you want to do. And you have identified a great point. Kindly focus on the focus 300 topics. A lot of research has gone regarding these topics. At least 30% of the marks you can improve as a part of those topics. So it's a part of our YouTube series. And the link will again be posted so that you all get that. So kindly focus on that. Thank you, Rachita. Great progress. So use the last 30 days effective. Very good. Thank you. Pramod, I'm unmuting you.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
This was really very awesome session. We learned a lot of things and it was really insightful. So there are some doubts, sir. I have completed only 3 books. Okay. And based on our discussion,
Can you be a little louder, Pramod? Your voice is low.
Yes, sir. Based on our discussion, I started doing this prelims test. Okay. So that is, my marks is not satisfactory. Okay. There are a lot of since yesterday I was just giving that test of history. So I have not gone through that history books right now. So it was very difficult for me to solve the questions. Okay, because I am not getting any concept. So what I am thinking, can I go for this LTQ?
Absolutely. That's what you need to do. Okay, I understood your scenario. Let me tell you this. Okay. See, out of these 6 subjects, history, economy, polity, environment, science and tech, geography that are there. Okay. Environment, geography, environment, science and tech has 40 to 50 questions that come. You being an engineer, these 3 subjects, you will be able to relate things faster. Okay. Geography, environment and science and tech, 1. Whereas economy and polity are subjects where questions are very much certain, where 15 questions come from polity, around 15 to 20 questions come from economy, where comfortably you'll be able to get 10 questions easily right if you know those subjects. Yeah. So history is one subject where unless you have a history optional, it's really challenging for you to score more than 5 questions right out of 15 questions as a part of history, based on the type of questions being asked. History is vast. Okay. So see those 4 subjects that you're strong in and work on the learning through questions and the funnel approach that I told you right now to first get to know those hot areas related to the topic. For example, if you're environment, you are expected to know National Park, Biosphere Reserve and Wildlife Sanctuary. If you don't know that, you're missing a core concept that is being asked by UPSC. First, focus on those most important areas related to the concepts. Do you know about it or not? Use the brainstorming method. If you don't have clarity, get to know about it. Nothing new studying right now. Leave the new subjects out. Focus on what is there. Focus on the focus 300 topics that we are giving and consolidate the information regularly. To put it in more simple words, focus on the 10 full test. Focus on the previous year questions. Gather the data related to things and you're done. If history is not done, don't focus on history questions. Remaining questions you focus. Clear? As I gave you a clarity, 12,000 facts you get to learn as a part of these questions. Consolidate. Yeah. Yes, Prabhu. That's the
one more point is, sir, regarding these 300 topics, what we are learning through this YouTube channel. So can we get the soft copy of that presentation?
Yeah. The PDF is provided in the description.
Okay.
Yeah, you can get it.
Okay.
And use those topics for brainstorming. For example, if a topic comes as NCDC, National Commission on the digital currency, the institution that's coming for digital currency. What all do I remember about it? What is digital currency? How digital currency is different from cryptocurrency? Are both the same or are they different? And what is this institution? Why this institution came about? All these thinking should keep happening in your mind. Our student Sindhu shared a very good point the other day. How she is able to consistently score more than 130 plus or 120 plus as a part of her mocks is every time she's seeing a concept, she's trying to think why, what, how, when, and she's questioning about the concept and deriving the answer out. So in this analytical approach, when you go, you'll actually be able to get more clarity and that blurry feeling will go. Clear? All the best. Thank you. Anubhav?
Good evening, sir. Just a little all related to LTQs only. So in last 10 days, you said that we have to learn from questions.
Yes.
We don't have to solve any mock test.
Hmm.
So, sir, what basically we have to do in that?
No,
what just have to
see, now you would have solved subject-wise test. You would have solved full test, correct? So you are solving the test all these days and you're working on the test also. In the last 10 days, if you work on the same questions and try to identify the topics and brainstorm about it, or learn through the questions. Why is it correct? Why is it wrong? What question came? What went wrong? Learn through the questions. That's nothing else.
Okay, sir.
Why? Because your mind will be more alert and it will be identifying the tricks that are played. Previous year questions you solve, subject-wise tests you solve, full test you solve. A lot of questions are there. You get to learn a lot. And what you can do, you can list down, you can mark all the concepts in the question paper and brainstorm about it to know if you know about the concept or not. If you know about it, good to go. For example, if I tell Kyoto Protocol, immediately are you able to get the crux of Kyoto Protocol? Have you heard of Kyoto Protocol? Have you heard of Montreal Protocol? What is it related to? When I say Montreal Protocol, immediately ozone should come in mind. How do I know about that? That's it. Good. I know about it next. You don't need to sit and read. That's all.
Thank you, sir.
All the best. So all the best, students. And I'm looking forward to see you all successfully clear your prelims. Do whatever I told you now, and you will be able to progress a lot in these last 30 days. Do not underestimate the power of 30 days. 30 days, even if 10 hours or 12 hours, if you put 360 hours you have with you. See it in that way and put every man-hour into practice effectively to do things, right? So I wish you all the best and remember to continue the cycle right after your prelims. And we are there for you to help you. All the best, and I'm looking forward to see you all successful. Thank you.